Hey, welcome. Good morning at Realtor Avery.
Good morning, Charles Flynn, Realtor.
Did I fall into pattern? And
Yes. Yes,
all
you did, but that's
right.
okay.
All right, yeah, listen, we roll. All right. You know
Yes.
what though?
Yes.
You know what I'm gonna do though? I'm gonna grow. I'm gonna get better.
And maybe you want to shed things that are no longer serving you, but not
Hmm.
me.
Absolutely, right? I'm gonna
Don't
brought
shed your co-host.
no, I no, no, no.
No.
No,
All
but
right.
no,
So
but yeah, no, this is funny. We try to plan all ways to get into our conversation, but we didn't plan that one.
no.
Um, and so that's exactly right. Like I have to get a little bit better and I have to kind of plan ahead maybe a little more and in thinking of our show. And as I said, I was really confused this week because I went in Wednesday morning to wake my son up for school and said, come on, it's time to go to school. Like that. Like, come on, let's go. Chop chop. And and he says, Dad, he says, Dad, it's Chinese Lunar New Year. He goes, we don't have school. And I said, yeah, right. Sure you don't. And sure enough, I go check. They got no school.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big holiday. And
Okay.
it's a big, I think anytime it's something I had to do a little bit more reading about this year and previous years, but I
Hmm.
think it's such a wonderful reset. We talk about the zodiac, here, your sign, right? I'm a Libra. And, you think about that. But
Hmm.
I love that in the Chinese zodiac, it like changes every year. And so everybody born in that year has the same sign. It's pretty cool.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
So like I always just think, yeah, of month, like what's your sign by month, by month, by month.
Right.
But this also gives you a connection for everybody born in that year. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right. Well,
It's
and
cool.
I learned that it's the year of the snake.
Yes. Yeah. And I think when you just hear that, right? Like you hear that and for me anyway, it prompted me to want to look a little bit more, look a little bit deeper and find some
Yep.
connection to the
Hmm.
year. And I, it was easier to do than I thought, right? Like I thought, "Oh, the snake, what does that mean?" But once I read a little
Hmm.
deeper into it, I thought this is so fitting,
Hmm.
especially in real estate. And that's why, we like to do our Hannah high five. We like to talk about good things that are happening. And I think the year of the snake really propels a great year for realtors.
So what I did is I went on our Hannah dashboard and I opened up the marketing tab and I clicked on Microsoft Copilot and I said, Copilot, what is the year of the snake? Help me figure this out. And how does it relate to real estate? And I said, give me five bullet points relating real estate to the year of the snake. And I hit enter. And guess what? In about 10 seconds, whoosh, it had it all explained. I mean, not all explained. I want to dig deeper. I want to learn more. But I like that I was able to get that for what I wanted to achieve in the next half hour. So thank you, Microsoft Copilot. Thank you, Howard Hanna, for having that tool on our dashboard. I love it.
All right. So tell us some of what you learned and how does the year of the wood snake
Yeah.
translate into real estate and for realtors?
Well, it was funny, but like you mentioned in the beginning, we talked about shedding, and of course that's the most obvious thing I think about a snake. Oh, they shed, and or especially around our house outside in the garden, I'll find a big long snake skin. Um, but there's more. It's not just about shedding your skin, and they talked about snakes as being an adaptable animal. How they adapt to their environment, and I thought, okay, all right, and I could, realtors, we have to adapt. We have to adapt to the market. We have to adapt to our clients. We might have to adapt to the property we're working. We're trying to sell. We might have to adapt to forces definitely beyond our control. Right? We have to continue to run a
Mhm.
thriving business within not just a micro economy, but a macro economy. And so I said, yeah, absolutely. Snakes and realtors, we're like this.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. It also said that snakes are charming, right? Like,
Mm,
and through stories and lore, and the term a snake charmer,
mm,
right? Like,
mm-hmm.
we're building trust and rapport. It's easier to, we like to work with people we like and
Yep.
trust. And sometimes being charming is helpful in that. And I don't mean charming in a bad, bad way. I mean just to be personable, to be approachable, to be nice.
No one, I've never heard a story. I mean, I've heard a lot of real estate stories, and I've heard from a lot of clients. I've never heard someone say that oh my gosh, I hated working with that realtor. It was but I'm so happy with the result. Like, it's just never, it doesn't work that way, you know?
Yes.
And so,
Yes, they want that.
yeah, no,
I
that's
like,
absolutely.
the other, you can think about snakes as being slow, right? In a lot of cases. Now, granted, I've seen the videos of them
Yeah.
slithering quickly, but with that slow and steady also means patience,
Okay.
right? Like, we're in a hurry up and wait business, right? We've
Hmm.
got to get in the house. We've got to show the house. We've got to write the contract. Now we've got to wait for the response. We've got to
Right.
hurry up and apply for the mortgage. And now we've got to wait for the next step and the next
Right.
paperwork. In our Western New York market, it's typically 60 to 75 days between contract and closing, right? You're
Yes.
so excited you bought a house. Well, in
Sure.
2 months you can move in, right?
Yeah.
I know in other parts of
Yeah.
our Hannah footprint, it can be as quick as 30 days. And of course, we
Hmm.
can do early occupancy and different things. But again, it's like,
Hmm.
oh my gosh, I love this house. It's the best house ever. And when can I move in? So their
Yeah.
patience is truly a skill that realtors have to have, that patience and, staying on top of it.
Yeah, but you gotta go, you gotta, like a snake, you gotta know when to go for the kill, and we see that all the time. And you're always ready. You're ready to pounce. You're examining the environment. You're always tuned in. Snakes are always smelling, right? We know the way snakes smell, and they're always out
Yeah.
there smelling for that next, in their case, their next prey. It's not really I don't consider my clients my prey. They're not. They're my
Right.
they're my best friends.
We gotta, yeah, yeah.
So that's
There are many things we don't have in common.
but but no, they are like, and it's, gosh, I see, one thing is not on our list, like, and it got me thinking about it though. I'll often in my backyard, and in the summer I'll be mowing the yard, and I'll see a snake in my backyard with a frog, basically halfway down a frog, basically, and I'm like, well, good, we got lots of frogs, so that's fine. Um, But what you forget is that in that moment, how vulnerable that snake is. That snake cannot do anything while it's in the process of trying to, you know, finish off the frog. And it makes me think of vulnerability. And I think realtors, I think we often are in a vulnerable position. The way we are opening ourselves up and working for our clients, and being their advocates, putting ourselves out there in our marketing pieces, and on social media, and that exposes us in a vulnerable way. And it's and it made me think about, and that, since we're talking about snakes, that's what I thought about.
It's true. It's
What
true. I
else?
think anybody who puts themselves, even just you and I doing this today,
Yeah.
we're letting people scrutinize us and disagree with us, or I would have done it differently. I would have done it better, right? Like we put
Hmm.
ourselves out there every week, and it's not always easy.
No, it's not. It's
No,
tr-
but so I do think, and again, going back to this shedding, we've seen a lot lately in the news about 2024 as a year for real estate agents, for realtors across the country, and many had great success, and many more really struggled with all of the changes. And I think that it's been a big learning curve for realtors and for clients, and I think the strong have really done well, that they have figured out, how do I need to grow, how do I need to adjust, how do I need to adapt, and they've been very, very successful. And I think back to something you said earlier, they've been very satisfied with the results. Clients who are working with highly skilled realtors are seeing the benefit of having that professional, that advocate on your behalf more than ever, because we're taking the time to explain a little bit more of what we're doing, why we're doing it, and the people are choosing. Yeah, I I believe you're the best option to help me get the next property or sell this property.
Absolutely. Market insight. You know, if there's an animal, I mean snakes, like in my yard, the frogs are in a little pond behind our deck. The frogs know where, not the frogs, the snakes, they know where their market is. They've analyzed this area. The snake knows to be by my pond to get, he knows his market, right?
I think we need to
Realtors.
do a show from your backyard. We've heard about the new deck you guys put on.
Yeah.
Now we're hearing about the pond and the frogs. Like, I think you've got a lot going on in your yard. It's your own little real estate ecosystem back there.
It's a lot of
We're just going
action.
to have to film a show from the backyard.
Okay. I mean,
But that's,
but they know their
all kidding.
market, right? The snakes know their market,
Yes. Yes.
right? And I think, and that's one way I think we in the same way know our market. We got to know the market,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah. And, not to discount, I mean, it's a great year to still get into real estate. And so you can learn the market, right? You don't have to be watching us and be like, "Oh, great, I don't know the market. What am I going to do?" Well, you learn the market. You assess what's going on. You start watching properties, you start touring homes, you start doing more and more. And then it's like, boom, a house hits the market and you're like, "Oh, you can predict how much activity, what's it going to sell for, what are
Mhm.
the positives of that property." And that knowledge, is we're getting educated every day, right? I don't know, is
Right.
education on your list? Attention to detail.
Well,
I should have paid attention.
well, through that, well, like you said, through you can go back and you can you've got to study, right? Being a realtor is being a student. And I think of a class I took at Triple Play a couple of years ago where she talked, it was an investor, it was a class about investing, and she talked about how um you could tell by the percentage of properties that listed and what percentage of those sold. You could tell how many offers there, how many offers there were going to be on each house that year. And so going back to like 2012 and 2013, you could see that the sold ratio was barely over 50%. And where we are now, the sold ratio has been like 80%, 82%. I know a lot of people think
Mhm.
it's 100%, but it's not, right?
Right.
So, but it's been super high. And so when we have the sold ratio like we are now, that's indicative of a market where you're probably on the properties that are selling, you're probably getting multiple offers. But the point of all that is she could go back, she through NAR, we're members of NAR. The data is there. She goes, you can go, you can find the year, the data is there, you can read it and you can learn it, and you can learn what the results were from those behaviors, and you can use that to make predictions about what's going to happen this year in real estate, this month in real estate. I didn't have to be a realtor in 2010 to know what happened in 2010 and
Right.
how it affected the market, right? I can go back, I can learn it. So all like you have to put, especially when you're a newer realtor, you got a little catching up to do, but it's there and the information is very accessible. So go get
Mhm.
it, go learn it, dude. Chop the wood.
Very true. Very true. Well, I'm excited for this new year. I'm excited for change and growth. I know we have more. We always. I mean, every once in a while, I would joke around like, "Oh, it's been very hard, right?" Like, I
Yeah.
want. I used to use the term a coast. I want a coast. Why can't I have a coast year,
I
right?
used I used to say, can I stop learning so much?
Right. And
How about
and
a
then it's like,
transaction where I don't learn anything?
right? It's like, haven't I learned, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I'm strong
Yeah.
enough.
I'm sorry.
I want a
Right.
coast.
I'm good.
And the problem is you don't recognize a coast year until it was like 3 years behind you, right?
Sure.
And truly coasting, there's no, I mean, I suppose you could say the lazy river is a coasting ride, but even then they have to put a waterfall now and again. They have to have you bump into each other as you go through. But the lazy river is not as exciting as the roller coaster. So,
Okay.
these ups and downs that makes life exciting, makes life fun. And we're, you know, those who are going to strive and grow and reanalyze and just get stronger. It's 25 is going to be an awesome year.
Okay.
And what we've learned, what we've dealt with in the past, 8 or 9 months, 5 months specifically, is going to serve us very well and it's going to serve, when I say us, I mean the real estate community, right?
All
It's
right.
going to serve all of us working with buyers and sellers, investors, first time home buyers. It's lots of positive changes have come from the changes that we've gone through. So if you're still in the business, if you've gotten stronger, if you're resilient, you're learning, you're changing, you're growing, then I agree, Chuck. It's the year of the realtor.
You're the realtor. Be excited. Just shed that former skin. I can't wait to see the beauty that comes through. You know, the new skin, the new life, the new
Right.
realtor. We're in such a great position as managers of offices to, to see our agents grow that way. I'm really excited
Yes.
about that.
And we're in cities that have been, I mean, how many lists have Rochester, Buffalo, Syracuse, or I think Irondequoit specifically,
All of
top
them,
community, right? Like
everyone.
we're hitting all the
Tonawanda.
lists,
Shout out to Tonawanda.
right?
Top
Like
10.
so
Come
it's
on.
it's amazing that we're in these places with such
Hmm.
incredible opportunity. So, if you're not growing, you know, it's not good. You want to grow.
Right on.
And we want to grow with you.
So I'm excited. I was happy to learn the year of the snake. I think it's the year of the realtor. It's
Yes.
perfect. It makes perfect sense to me. So,
Yes.
all right. Well, thank you so much again for joining me this morning. And I look forward. I can't wait to see you next week. Cheers, everybody.